Comics of 100 Years Ago, October 21st, 1924. It's Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. Mrs. Warbucks is making a speech on a stage. She's got a platform next to her with a vase with some roses in it. We can see 5 old ladies watching from the audience and young Annie. They're all wearing tea cozy hats, but Mrs. Warbucks has the biggest brim of any of the hats. She's wearing a fur collar and a jacket with kind of, looks like it might be a leopard's fur coat that she has on, although the spots are white and not black. Mrs. Warbucks says, "My heart bleeds for that little country of eczema, and in closing I say again that we should give till it hurts for the poor downtrodden people of that far-off land, for charity, my friends, is the greatest of all virtues." A lady reporter approaches her. She is dressed a little bit more masculinely with a long black coat with white collar and cuff. And she says, "I am a reporter from the Daily Yelp. Your speech was wonderful." Mrs. Warbucks hands her a piece of paper and says, "Oh, thank you so much. Here is the synopsis of it. You may have for your paper. It also mentions my other philanthropic activities. Any charity finds a friend in me." Annie looks on a little bit confused. Now they are outside, and 3 poor kids who are basically wearing blankets and kerchiefs are standing next to Mrs. Warbucks' car, which literally has a $sign for a hood ornament. There is another kid in a ball cap and a girl standing on the other side of them. And Mrs. Warbucks says, "Heavens, such poor trash should not be allowed on an exclusive street." "Hello, gang," Annie says. As they drive away, they see an old man with a beard, possibly the blind man that Annie and Mr. Warbucks helped previously, talking to a little girl. And Mrs. Warbucks says, "It's a pity there isn't a law to prevent such cheap rubbish from living so near a high-class neighborhood. The sight of them is so depressing." And it's a comic strip that, even though it is 100 years ago, could definitely be published today.